Welcome back, home CEOs. Today, I am thrilled because we have like the garden expert of experts on the pod, Carmen Johnson from Bespoke Gardens, joining us. Carmen is a visionary in the world of bespoke garden design, transforming outdoor spaces into personalized havens of beauty and tranquility. Our conversation, we deep dive how to make your outdoor space everything you want it to be and more, especially in these summer months. This is a need. And with her keen eye for detail and a passion for sustainability, Carmen helps homeowners create gardens that are not only stunning, but also eco-friendly. So whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, home CEO, Carmen insights and tips will inspire you to elevate your outdoor space for my favorite time of the year, hosting season in the summer. Stay tuned because this is an engaging conversation filled with practical advice, creative ideas, a touch of nature's magic, and of course, inspiration. Let's dive in.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here.
Okay, tell me, first of all, Carmen and I had a mutual connection with a friend who also you guys know as Cheese Gal Courtney. And my friend Courtney was like, you need to follow Carmen. And it was an instant follow and then an instant deep dive. You know when you like stay on your phone and you're just scrolling for like an hour and you don't even realize it's been an hour? That's what I did with Carmen's social media page. And fell in love with her, fell in love with everything she does in the garden. I was like, we've got to make a podcast happen. And now here we are. So I'm a bit fangirling because I get to talk to Carmen today, but I'm super excited to bring her on the pod because she is a wealth of information, all home CEO, but also garden CEO. So Carmen, tell me about what you do, how you got into the social media aspect, and everything about the business. Tell me everything.
Okay, love it, love it. Well, so y'all, I'm Carmen with Carmen Johnson Gardens, and I also have Bespoke Garden Plans, which is a virtual design business. But I want to bring you confidence in the garden. So many of y'all are intimidated by gardening, and y'all, I think so many people get so overwhelmed with it, Nicole, right? And
yes.
don't worry about it. It's okay. Just try it. And I think gardening is a lot like cooking, okay? You know how you create a recipe and sometimes it doesn't taste good and you're like, let me chunk it. You're going to kill plants. I kill plants too, right? It's okay. So we've got Carmen Johnston Gardens. I grew up gardening with my dad, just a little background, and married someone who was in the greenhouse business. I married him because I thought I'd get free flowers the rest of my life. Some of y'all, if you follow me, you know Miss Tommy. He's amazing. And I just went up to him, a few years into our marriage, and I said, I want to start my own business. I started doing container gardening for clients, and it grew into a very large business, Wet's Nectar and Company. And I have clients all over in the South where we get seasonally change out their containers. We do all of the design, and we install their gardens. And then I also have the Bespoke Garden Plans, which is what a lot of y'all see on Instagram, where we virtually will design gardens all over the country and in Canada. I just got off the phone with one of my clients in Canada. I love it. So, and that's all done via pictures, right? So it's super easy.
I love that. So I live on an acre. I'm in Oregon. And I was like, we need a whole landscape in the front. I started watching Carmen. I'm like, so motivated. I go out, I buy all these peonies. I've got all these flowers. I'm just digging them up, putting them in. And I got it done and I was like, I'm pretty sure half those flowers don't need to be next to that other flower. And this is wrong and this is wrong. And I was like, nope. Carmen would say, like, go pour a glass of lemonade, stand out there and enjoy what you just did. And that's what I did. And by the way, thriving. The garden is thriving. And I like gardening because I feel like it helps ground me. It's kind of like the energy that encapsulates my home. And it is an extension of the home. And probably my favorite part of my home is my outdoor space and just being connected to nature. So when I found you with all your tips and all your tricks, and I'm obsessed with your hydrangea pajamas that you wear all the time.
Do you not romp around your garden in your pajamas?
So I have gardening jumpsuits that I wear.
Oh, okay.
I'm a jumpsuit gal, but I'm going to have to level up to pajama gardening. This sounds like a series we need together.
100%.
Oh my goodness.
I get up in the morning. So I have the businesses, right? But I get up in the morning and that is what brings me peace. Even though it's the businesses that I run, I walk around with my cup of coffee and I look and see how everything is growing, especially on Saturday and Sunday mornings. And I have gardening slippers so that I romp around the garden in my garden slippers. That's like, I think, a Southern thing.
No, I think that's just you being fabulous thing. I think I need some gardening slippers. I would like a link, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I love that. I do harvest my flowers in my pajamas in the morning. I'm the same way. Like I woke up, I posted on social media, oh, I'm in my pajamas and I'm harvesting my peonies. Like I do harvest them in the morning.
Then you are in the PJ gardening club, okay?
I am. Okay, everyone needs to be in this club, guys. Okay, let's get to some fun questions because I want to pick your brain for 8 hours, but we don't have that. So we'll just get to it. What's one of the weirdest plants that you have successfully grown?
Okay, so when I think of a weird plant, you're going to probably think this is weird that you're even saying this, but where we live in the South, succulents are kind of abnormal here, right? But they are very proficient and prolific in a lot of other places. And so I want to say succulents because it's something that I think everyone can be successful with. And they're so quirky and they're kind of funky looking. So it's a weird plant to me, but they're so beautiful. And y'all, if you're new to gardening, I'm telling you, the succulent is your best friend. They only need to be watered like once a month. They don't need a lot of love if you have a black thumb. So I'm going to say any type of succulent. Flap jacks are my favorite. Flap, FLAP jacks are my favorite. I just love how they open up like this and have these I wish y'all could see my hands right now moving and they have these curly edges. They're just fabulous.
So I have an area, I will post a picture of it, but I have an area that's just a succulent garden and I replant it pretty much every year or I have to cover it from the frost that we get. And it's outdoors, but there are a few in Oregon on the West Coast out here that actually do make it, even with frost and snow. I will have to link the names. I don't have them off the top of my head, but hens and chicks are one of them.
That's a great
And they just keep going. They multiply. They drop their little eggs, and then they just and they're easy to take care of. I agree. Succulents are good. Okay. Share a funny gardening fail that taught you a valuable lesson.
We do a ton of Christmas decorating, right? We're harvesting everything outside, bringing it inside. And the reason why I'm saying that this is a fail is because we had brought so much outdoor stuff to stuff and shove the tree. The tree fell over. It was a 25-foot Christmas tree. Yes. So down here, we cut fresh magnolia, pine. We do all kinds of great things and we layer it into our Christmas trees. Okay. And so that's one of the reasons why I love to garden is because I love to bring all that stuff inside and decorate with it. Right. So I would say that's probably one of the biggest fails is we stuffed and shoved a little bit too much where the 25-foot Christmas tree fell over.
Dang, I can't even imagine. So my grandmother, Ruth, who we've talked about on my social media platform a ton because she's a lot of my inspiration, she used to decorate her 25-foot, 30-foot Christmas trees with live flowers. And so we'd all tube them, and make sure they had water and we'd put them up. And last year I did one of all just red carnations and in her honor. And it was gorgeous. And so you're talking about this and I'm ding, 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 because Grandma Ruth was from Louisiana. So she was born in the South and you're talking about all these things and I'm just ding, 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 ding. But that is a bad one. She had I remember she lit candles in one of them and they were protected, but it burned and it didn't catch the house on fire, thank goodness, but it was too close to call. So yeah, those are... Yeah, that is a fail.
And I learned from it was I stay very calm and because think about it, y'all, my clients' ornaments, hand blown from Belgium, all broke, right? And so I was very calm. We got it back up together and we had it back up in 4 hours. So, basically, it's okay to fail in the garden, y'all. I'm giving you permission to fail. You are going to fail. You are going to kill different plants. It is okay because you just try it again and you just get back up and keep going and keep planting and keep learning what works best in your garden.
But I love that. I can only imagine what we're going to come up with for my Christmas tree, Carmen. I'm going to be okay, let's get a plan for the Christmas tree going. Because I think that those live flowers and things like that are just so beautiful. It's a different look, Okay. What is one of your best hacks for keeping plants hydrated during the hot summer without your water bill becoming a horror story?
So a lot of people don't realize they overwater. So that they're watering unnecessarily, right? There's this great little gadget. You can find it on Amazon. It's a moisture. You can find it anywhere, but it's a moisture meter, and it tells you whether it's dry and it goes all the way to wet, right? If your plant is wet, don't water it. It does not need to be watered. You want to wait till that. I wish they could see my hand. You want to wait till that, that dial goes to dry and then water it. So don't overwater it because you can waste water, right? Number 2, use saucers. The plant saucers at the bottom, that definitely helps keep, the bottom of the container can wick that moisture up. And then they make these things that's like a polymer that you can add to your containers to help keep the plants, more wet, like moist a little bit longer. But you know what? I have to be honest with you, Nicole. We live on a farm and we're on a well.
Oh, girl, that's magic words right there.
We're very grateful and we're very thankful. And we also harvest our rain too, right? I can't believe I almost forgot to tell y'all this. If y'all see that it's raining outside, I need to, what am I doing? I'm running out in my pajamas with my plants and making sure they can get the rainwater. But I would say definitely don't overwater. 2, using the saucers, they help a ton. Big pots, don't plant in small containers, right? So small pots turn into crock pots. So sometimes you want to have a lot of soil that can hold the moisture for a lot longer. Smaller pots dry out a lot quicker. So that's my saying small pots turn to crock pots, because you want to plant in bigger containers so they hold more soil.
My other thing, because I live on an acre and we're a lot of garden bed, probably half garden bed, half lawn here. And I live in Oregon and we have a ton of rain. We have water barrels and we try to recycle the rainwater best we can because we just get so much of it. But my water bill is out of control. Mm-hmm. One of the best tips that I do is in May before Mother's Day. So it's like my Mother's Day gift. Compost the yard with garden mulch, like a composted garden mulch.
Yes.
Because that will help. And then make sure that all of your larger growth, like big trees, things like that, have ferns or something on the bottom of them, right? Because as I'm watering my yard, I need plants that then can help give those roots of those big trees shade. And this is something, guys, I've had to learn by trial and error and go into my garden group and my local community to figure out. It took me a long time to figure this out. And I'm staring at 2 lavender plants that are dead in my yard right now as we do this podcast. So I'm by no means the expert, but those 2 things have truly helped me.
Yeah, you definitely want to mulch. I will tell you this, for a lot of our clients out west, I know y'all use a lot of rocks out there to mulch. Okay, but let me tell you what, the rocks they almost like hold the heat, and so they cause the plants to need more water. So if you can use an organic mulch, and I'm so glad you talked about that, it definitely helps hold the moisture in the ground. I guess my brain always goes to like containers for everybody, right?
I think it's good because we're balancing each other.
Yeah. Definitely you want to mulch. And so we mulch 3 times a year down here. A lot of our clients, so the best time to mulch, we wait until after the leaves fall, which is December for us. Okay. So that's when we mulch. And then we mulch again early spring. And then we'll do a little light dusting like in August, right? And so that's usually when we have everything mulched to help hold in that moisture.
Yeah, I think everyone sometimes thinks mulch is just for aesthetic. And yeah, it looks great when it goes in, but it's actually just massively beneficial to your soil health,
Right. And then one more thing I have to tell them about, y'all use soaker hoses. The soaker hoses.
So smart.
Yes, they don't put out as much water, and the water doesn't evaporate, basically is what I should be telling y'all. So if you are trying to, when you use the overhead sprinkler system, especially in the heat, the water evaporates, and you want to water first thing in the morning, y'all. Okay? First thing in the morning is when you want to water. Now, listen, sometimes, Nicole, I get home late at night, and that's what I water to relieve stress. That is how I have my watering wand, I have my favorite one. I put on my PJs, I'm walking around, and that's how I relieve stress. But yes, you definitely want to water first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning. Yes. Can we talk about pest control a little bit in gardens?
Yeah.
I don't use pesticides.
Right.
And I think, pests are not guests, right? We have a whole series on that on It's Nicole Jakes. but I use other insects to help combat like aphids on my roses. Can you talk about some pest repellents you think that work? Talk to me about that.
So we definitely try to do everything natural in the garden, like as much as we possibly can. Like I told my husband, no more Roundup. Like we are done, no more. So y'all, I'm telling you, you just got to get out there with your hands and pick those weeds because there's no magic formula besides like the salt, the vinegar, and the soap. That works. But just know, y'all, that you've got to do that 2 or 3 times. It's not, and you have to do it during the heat of the day. The ground temperature needs to be above 68 degrees. That's kind of what we've learned when you're using that formula. So I know that's like weeds. I know we're not talking about the weeds, but that definitely pest. I like to do the cinnamon oil with the water. Yes. And so we actually got this great little sprayer that stays on our kitchen counter that I keep mixed up at all times. And so that's another great way to keep like the ants and the different things out of your pots as well.
Hey, home CEOs. Okay, big question. Are you ready for Father's Day? It's coming up and fast. And this Father's Day, I wanted to give you a tip. Treat any dad like royalty with Good Ranchers, the #1 American meat delivery service. They just launched the King Cut box. It's my husband's favorite. And it's stuffed with Thick-Cut Bone-in Ribeyes, Center-cut Filet Mignons, and Thick-Cut Bone-in New York strips. And it's a perfect way to make any dad's day sizzle. But guess what? This gets better. Good Ranchers is offering free bacon for life. I know, you heard me right. With any new subscription. So use my code HOMECEO and get 2 packs of uncured Applewood smoked bacon with every order. Yeah, free bacon forever. So again, here's how you're going to nail Father's Day. All you need is to follow these directions. Head to goodranchers.com. Grab the King Cut box for dad, subscribe to their amazing meat boxes for yourself, use your code HOMECEO at checkout for your lifetime supply of bacon, and enjoy free shipping and make Father's Day unforgettable. So great, right? Change the way you buy meat today at goodranchers.com. Again, with my code HOMECEO to claim your free bacon for life. And this year, let's give dad more than just funny dad jokes. All right, back to the Home CEO. One of the biggest questions I get asked, because it's, in peony season or a bigger bloom or rose, people are like, there's always ants on them. I want to bring them inside. Like, what do I do?
Okay.
Tell me. I'm so excited.
Well, everyone needs to have like a Tupperware bin before you bring your flowers. Is that what you're about to tell everyone? The Tupperware bin?
Yes.
So we, at our back door, we have a sink and I have a Tupperware bin and I've got, just like some Dawn or liquid soap, whatever you want to use. Put a few drops in it and literally submerge your limelight hydrangeas, your peonies. You can submerge anything in it in the whole Tupperware and let it soak. And y'all, when you pull your flowers out and you see all of the bugs and stuff in that water, you're like, oh my goodness. But Nicole, I'll be honest with you. I don't know why. It just didn't really faze me to have the bugs inside the house. I mean, it's the garden. I mean, it's just, you can shake it out. So if you don't want to, dip them in the water with the soap, I mean, I bring stuff in all the time without soaking it as well.
I do too. And my daughter's always like, oh, there's a spider. Now there's going to be spiders in the house. I'm like, it's fine, honey. Let's just take it back outside. Put it on another rose, But it is cute to think people don't want the outside inside, but we want the pretty part of the outside inside. We just don't want the pests that come along with it. But I am similar. But sometimes, if the kids need an activity while I'm trying to garden, I'll be like, okay, rinse off the harvest, And so sometimes it keeps my little kids' hands busy. Well, then I'm going and doing my fun in my garden. For busy home CEOs, because they're out there, we're all out there. What are the top set it and forget it plants for summer and for fall gardening?
Okay, lantana. Lantana is a great one. Now, okay, so for our people in Texas that are listening, y'all are different animal down there, okay? Because y'all get so hot. But the sedums are also great to set it and forget it. I love to use those as ground covers. Lantana is another great one. Some of my favorite shrubs, I love, and this is depending on what zone you live. So for all the different plants we're talking about, y'all, be sure to check your zone. Shishi Gashira is one of my favorite shrubs. SHI space GASHIRA, y'all. It is phenomenal. It's an evergreen. And once you plant it and kind of keep it watered for about the first few weeks, I mean, now if you're going through a drought, you got to give it some water, right? Okay, but it's a leave it and set it. It definitely does a great job. But Nicole, honestly, at the end of the day, just like our bodies need water, plants need water too. And so there truly is really no leave it and set it plant. But the sedums and the succulents and the lantana, what I just talked about, they're very forgiving, very forgiving. And then if for inside the home, pothos, Pothos, are very, very forgiving. And then that fern these right behind me that are in my office, that blue star fern that you're looking at, that also is very forgiving as well. It's a great fern that doesn't need a lot of water for your indoor plants.
Yeah, I was going to say ferns. Ferns do need water outside for sure. But at the same time, I feel like, especially being in Oregon, ferns are like native here. Planting native plants actually tends to help a lot with them being acclimated. And as climates change, like we've implemented more drought resistant here in Oregon, which sounds crazy to me because, 50 years ago, we didn't need that, but now we do. So like my lavender thrives here now in a zone that's kind of, where all the water kind of goes down, but kind of just learning like those small tips and tricks really helps. Okay. What is like 3 things you have to have to garden? Water. Yes. Okay. So you're going to go out into your garden. Okay. And you only get 3 items to go do whatever you need to go do in there. What are 3 items you have to have?
Okay. So my number one of my favorite tools is my Dram watering wand. DRAMM. Y'all, I'm telling you. And I learned about this from my husband's family who was in the greenhouse business, right? So it's the best watering wand. And like the end of the wand puts out like this perfect rain shower. So, oftentimes like when your kids are trying to water outside and they're like hosing it down and they're crushing all the flowers, y'all, this is going to be your kids' like new favorite tool because they can help you water and it's very relaxing. So that's definitely one of them. You have, okay. So I have so many. I have so many. Number 2 is Color Star. Color Star fertilizer, y'all, if you listen to me on my Instagram, you'll hear me call it my go-go juice. That's what my husband calls it. It is the best fertilizer, and it just takes a little pinch of it, and it works on pretty much anything and everything. We use it out all of my clients, and I don't want to sound like a commercial, but I mean, they are really, it's life-changing. It's life-changing in the garden. And number 3 is really, y'all, invest in really good potting soil. Whether you make it yourself or whether you purchase it, it's like the food that you put into your bodies to make your bodies healthy. You want to make that same investment in your garden, right? So when you're making your containers and when you're creating your garden beds, if you can get that, local compost, awesome. If not, invest in really good potting soil. It makes the biggest difference in your gardens and in your beds.
I so agree with those. I think the other thing is a really good pair of shears. For me, like
you only gave me 3.
I know. So I'm going to add on to here. We're going to partner up.
Yeah.
But a really good pair of shears for me is important. And I have a weeding tool that allows you to not bend down. So you just basically step on it, twist it, and pull it up and put it in the bucket and you're done. And it has saved my back.
Yeah.
So I think those are maybe the only other 2 I could add to your 3 that I'm like, I really need those in my garden.
I have, Fiskars makes, y'all, so we keep clippers in our car. Like the women down here keep clippers in our cars, okay? So we can go and harvest off the side of the road or borrow, wink, wink, flowers from our neighbors. I mean, we'll knock on the door and ask for permission. And we also have like a bucket. But Fiskars makes these incredible shears that you can cut branches because we decorate with branches a lot, right? And
yes,
that indoor beauty. That's why we love to garden. And it just the way it cuts it, it's so fast and easy, and you don't need a lot of strength to do it. They're incredible. They're like one of my go-to tools. We have them everywhere.
Yeah, I think those are so important. Those are probably my biggest. I do agree though, like the intimidation in gardening sounds like, oh, I'm going to kill every plant, or I don't know what plant goes to that. How did you come up with the mythology of just enjoy it? Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, I think that just from a lot of people, I would say I'm not really intimidated by a lot of things, right? And a lot of people are intimidated by the garden. And y'all, like, it's okay. Just try it, and it's okay. I'm giving you permission to fail. But Nicole, I want to share this. If you're new to gardening, the best way to try something is to plant a container garden. Just buy 3 of the same plant, right? You can buy like 3 lantanas or 3 begonias. Begonias, y'all, are such an easy, great starter plant. They're a great plant. Plant them in container, keep them watered throughout the summer, and help build that confidence. Container gardens are a great way to attack it. Don't get overwhelmed. I think sometimes when everyone sees like the entire yard, they think, oh my goodness, I have to attack it all at once. Break it out into phases, okay? I hope that helps answer that question a little bit. There's so much thought behind that. When I say thought, but don't get intimidated by it. You can do it. And it's okay if you fail. Just like anything, just get back up and try it again.
That's exactly right. A lot of people come to me and are like, how did you low tox your home? And it's so overwhelming. And I'm so overwhelmed by all of the things. And I'm like, well, then just break all of those things into individuals, one at a time. When your laundry soap runs out, then make the switch. If that switch wasn't good when that one runs out, try another brand or make it yourself. I think there's this feeling of we have to do it all at once. And it's just slowing down and saying the journey of how we get there is actually the joy.
Yes. That's
right?
It's like, think about it. What's the number one thing that people are going to see, right? I always believe you should greet your guests with style. So start at the front door. Get 2 pots on your front door, y'all. That is, if you want to get into gardening, that's where you need to start. Then work your way out. And once you start building that confidence, then they're going to see your mailbox, right? That's a mailbox garden. Just do these little areas. Then the front beds in front of your house. And then just break it out. But think about what's easy for you to access. When I say access, like where can you get out and water? Where can your children go out and help you water? But start at the front door. Just do 2 pots on each side. And remember, go big or go home. Remember, scale is very important. You need bigger containers.
I totally second that. And it's so funny because my landscape, we had to dig up everything when we did the remodel, and I still don't have my front landscape done, but the rest of the garden is all done. I'm like the backwards of what you just gave. And I'm like, you're hitting exactly what I need to go focus on is all of my decks where I entertain are set and done. But I really need that front landscape. I'm just waiting on like a water feature with some koi fish. Like we're going to get there. We're just trying to still get the vision down, But I then focus on areas that I'm entertaining, right? That's like my second tier is like where I'm entertaining or where I'm going to host people or where I'm just going to enjoy my own family dinner. I want it to look nice, right?
Children can help you because, y'all, that's another great thing about gardening is we see so much pleasure from our friends and family when they come over to when they come to the farm, and the children love it, and like when they get to see the chickens or when they get to pick, the lettuce we're about to use in the salad. So don't get overwhelmed by it, y'all. Just one step at a time.
Okay, so tell me your 3 favorite plants that you love, that bring you the most joy.
Hydrangeas by far. Hydrangeas. So if I had to go in order, it would be a limelight hydrangea is like in the hydrangea family. I'm going to give a look. And I love Nico blue hydrangeas. They're fabulous. I love ferns. I love all different kinds of ferns. If you follow me, I love a good old Kimberly Queen fern. She is so hardy. She can take that full sun if you set her out early enough, or she can take that full shade, and she can make you look like you know what you're doing in the garden.
We need more of that.
Yeah. If you ever want to green up your ferns, take a tablespoon of Epsom salt, mix it in a gallon of water, warm water, and y'all, it'll green up anything. It's great. That's a great fern tip. And ferns are great in the shade areas. And then for us, we love that Shishi Gashira plant that I said earlier. That's one of my go-tos because I love to plant things in my garden that I can cut from seasonally and bring them in, all different times of the year. The goal is you want to try to have something blooming in your garden throughout the entire year. Now, of course, if y'all, if you're way up, you get snow all the time, that's not feasible. But some that you can cut and snip on and bring in and enjoy. You can even cut, the branches and enjoy them in the wintertime. But I love definitely hydrangeas, ferns, and the shishikashira.
If you are in snow or you get frost like we do, I always have something that is producing a berry, like an andina, or a plant that then is going to give me an evergreen next to something seasonal, so I still stay green and not dead, but it produces a berry during. And another thing, okay, I did this, Carmen, this year, and I was so proud of myself. I took in my citrus trees and brought them inside. I put them by the door, so when the ants were ready to come get them, the ants came and found them inside, and everyone was like, you've got ants all over there. I'm like, well, those are my lemon trees, so we're just going to let them be. And they produced pink, yellow Meyer lemons, and I had a whole harvest in my home in winter. And I thought, someone's got to be talking about that, because that is a joy,
Yeah, so y'all, even though we have plants all over our house all year round, okay? And you're looking at a lot of what we have in our office behind here. What you're seeing is what we have in our house. I have plants everywhere. We call, they're little compositions, and they just make me happy. So in the wintertime, all of the ferns, there's so many beautiful things. Orchids, you can bring in just one single orchid dresses up anything. It really makes it so easy. But I have to say, Nicole, do you know why the ants are coming to your plants? Do you know why? What they're coming for? They're coming for the moisture. They're having a hard time finding moisture. So that's why a lot of the ants go into your plants, because it's very dry and different things are outside. So they come to your containers for that moisture.
Okay, so that's good to know. What about when it's winter time? Because I get a ton of rain. So there's moisture out there, but it seems to me like I thought, but I could be wrong, that happens for sure, is that the ants agitate the plant. They will. Kind of similar to peonies, to get it to say okay, it's time to produce or to grow or to sprout the flower. That's what I felt like they were doing. So I let them be, because I was like, you're doing something for my plant,
Yeah.
But don't ants do that? Don't they tickle flowers?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know if they do that or not.
We get to look it up, and then we get to share, because I feel like there's an insect relation to that. I use praying mantis. I set, I don't know, maybe 2,000 praying mantis in my garden, and about 3,000 ladybugs outside to take care of aphids and other pests. And they live in my garden all summer long. That's what I do. I just did it about a week ago, and that's my pest control, and it works. That and Damascus earth, and that's pretty much all I do. But for inside, obviously, I have pest repellents that you can spray and get rid of insects easily that are non-toxic. But I always feel like the little ants on my plants are beneficial. So we're going to have to look that up.
I'm sure
there may be something.
Yeah, that's what we always have to remember, is that, the way the earth, the way Mother Nature works, all of these things supposed to be working together, and they're helping in some way, shape, or form. So we really just let them be. A lot of people often ask, how do you keep the deer away? How do you keep the bunnies away? We've got natural things we use, like liquid fence, which is coyote urine. We do different things like that. But at some point, you're just kind of like, okay, this is their world too. They need to enjoy it.
I love my deer, but I'm like, if you eat another rose off my bush.
Yeah.
So I planted last year lavender and marigolds all throughout my roses.
Did it help?
And the deer left them alone. I was shocked. But sometimes those little tips are so invaluable for something that you really want to enjoy. So I'll share, and I want you to share too. I am a sentimental person and very sensitive. It's just who I am. And for every woman in my family line, I planted a rose bush in my rose bush garden.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And so my brother's getting married, so I got, his fiance one to add to our garden. As our family grows, so does the rose bushes, and everyone has their rose bush after their name. And it's something special in my garden. What is something special in your garden? Because I know you've got some.
Okay, y'all. Rosemary grows where every strong woman lives. Every one of y'all need to plant a rosemary bush. And so anywhere that we have a home or anywhere that we live, or if I, for a client, we always make sure that rosemary is in the garden in some way, shape, or form or fashion, because rosemary grows where all of you home CEOs live, because y'all are the ones making the world turn right now. And so rosemary is a very, very, very special plant for me. I have it everywhere.
Okay, I'm going to go plant a lot more of it. I think we need some extra in my garden right now. I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, is there any other last tips or tricks you want to share? You want to make sure that you tell the audience that they need either for summer or for fall?
Okay, y'all, remember I was saying about container gardening? That's a great gateway. If you want a quick formula, because we didn't talk about this, it's 3T, something tall, thick, and trailing. So, and you plant it in the shape of a triangle. That, if you want to look like a pro, just go find those 3 types of plants, and you can look on the plant tag, and you want to make sure whether it's sun or shade, find the light combo, something tall, thick, and trailing. And I think that just y'all be confident. It's okay if you fail in the garden. Just give it a try. Do not get overwhelmed. And if you need any help, just DM me at Carmen Johnston Gardens on my Instagram. We keep up with a lot of the DMs, and you can send me videos, and I'll help you in any way, shape, or form or fashion that we can.
I think that's what I love the most. And that was like one of the first things that I did learn is exactly the 3 T's. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because it does really help with container planting. And one of my favorite trailing is a potato vine. I get the green and I get the purple. And by the end of the summer, I'm like, these babies have grown so big, they're beautiful. Like you would never, a potato vine, like something so easy, so simple. It doesn't have to be expensive either. Some of my favorite places to go are just gardening centers, and I look for like the coupon days, and they have plenty of them. Or what I buy is off season. So like after the peony season has ended, I go in and swoop up the rest of them, and I save that for my nice little surprise come Mother's Day next year, when all of my, discount buying has then paid itself forward. So there are some like tips and tricks too to just finding a good deal. Do you have any of those? Because I think that could be beneficial. Gardening can be expensive.
You know what? You're so right. And it's gotten a lot more expensive because as cost of diesel, which is that's what a lot of the farmers use, go up, that the inputs, what we call, go up. So it's made soil cost more. It's made the plastic go up more. A lot of the inputs cost a lot. Y'all, there is always a rack in the back of every garden center at some point in time. Like there's always a rack that kind of has like things that are really sad looking. They're not dead. They are alive. Buy them, cut them back, put them in the ground. The reason why you're cutting them back is because you want all of that energy to focus on the root system and that new growth, okay? So anytime you buy a plant that's looking kind of, like janky a little bit, cut it all the way back. No matter really, I'm just making sure that's pretty much with everything. This is like perennials. These are for perennials.
Yeah.
And but that's also a great thing. Check the different like websites, at the, like you said, at the end of the season, like for the bulbs. Just remember the season when you plant different things. Like when I say that, you have to be sure you're not planting at the different items at the wrong time.
Yeah, no, when do we plant bulbs?
Okay, so for tulip bulbs, you want to plant them in the fall. Summer bulbs, you want to plant them after the first frost.
Got it.
Okay, and y'all too, gardening is about sharing. Share the plants with your friends. That's one of the things that I love to do is like we love to divide our daylilies. And I'm so fortunate. I have a group of older gentlemen that share their tomatoes with me. And then I share my things with them. So don't forget about that. Like see what your friends are growing in their garden. And when it's time to split those things, have them share them with you, like the hostas, the daylilies. There's so many fabulous things, the ferns that you can share with each other that are free.
So we do this with my father-in-law's garden and even my mother's garden, even though she's in California. I'm like, split up your plants, drive them up. Like, I want some of yours. And so I have like my in-laws in my garden and my grandma in my garden and my mom in my garden, because it is that. And then you're right. I should now start folding in friends, because that is like, I have dahlias that are just so beautiful. I didn't plant them. Like they came from my mom's garden and we split them, did the right thing. We split them. And then I took half and she took half. And it was small. The first time they all came up, they were a little tiny, but now they're like huge. They're like table, size.
Yeah.
And it's so cool when they bloom because then we text each other. It's actually like about connection, right?
100%. That's what the garden is about. It's like when we are creating gardens for our clients. So when you pull in the driveway, when you come home and it's like this, you just taking that deep breath. And when you see that beauty and those beautiful things, and then you feel so accomplished when you see those beautiful things growing, it just makes you feel good inside. That's what gardening is all about. At the end of the day, it helps relax me. It helps me feel connected. Make sure you take your shoes off to get grounded in that grass or whatever you're romping around in. I take my garden slippers off. But it's all about creating a beautiful space and to create a beautiful space for your family to enjoy and to create memories in. That's what we do for our clients. That's what we do personally for my family. So when they come over, they enjoy it and they sit back and they relax.
Yeah, right. It's connecting to your foundation of where your home is. Your home's on the land. That is your foundation for your home. I so agree. I love that we share the same sentiment. Okay, we're at the time of the show where we do Truth or Dare, and we do Truth or Dare just because I love the game. But I also like that you just don't know what's coming at you. Like you're such an expert in the garden, just to get to know you better and just switch it up. I feel like we have to pivot as home CEOs and CEOs all the time.
Yeah.
And how adaptable you can be is good. So Carmen, Truth or Dare?
Wait, so you want me to? Oh, okay. I want to do a truth. I want to do a truth.
Okay. If you were not an expert in the garden, like this was not what you chose to do as your primary profession, what would you be?
A lawyer.
I did not see that one coming.
Why?
Tell me why.
Can I say why? I wish I would have gone to law school to help navigate all of the stuff about business, the business world. I think that there is such a toolbox that is given to. Now, I'm not saying I would have practiced being a lawyer. I'm just saying that I would have liked the toolbox that they're given to navigate different things. I know that is probably so wild and crazy to think that, but my husband always says the way I argue that I could have been a lawyer. But yeah, I wish that, not to say that I'd do it all over again. I love what I do, right? I wish I would have had that toolbox. But yeah, a lawyer. I probably could say that close to you, but yeah.
Well, I'd hire you for all of it. Be my lawyer, be my garden expert. I need you in my life. Okay, thank you so much. Because I was like, I'm always so entertained. You never know what people are going to say, and you just see another side of what we all do, which I think is so cool. Okay, where can we find you, your business, your pajamas? Where it is, Carmen Johnston? Where are you? Where can we find you?
Well, first off, just so y'all know, I am based in Thomaston, Georgia. We are about south of Atlanta, and we live on a lot of land. We live on a nice farm. You can find me where you see all that background stuff, CarmenJohnstonGardens.com. That's where we are on Instagram. That's where we really show you all of our tips and tricks and different things. If you need help in your garden and want a garden plan, you can find us at bespokegardenplans.com. And that's where we design for clients all over the country. Y'all, it's so simple. You send us in your pictures. We take a look at them. We send you back a fee for what it costs. And y'all, it's a game plan for success. We map out exactly what you plant, where to plant, and how many to plant, and when to plant. So it's just an easy formula. And that all came from Instagram because so many of y'all were asking for our help in the garden. So I want to give y'all the confidence to succeed, and y'all can do it. I know you can.
Carmen, you are the best. I've had the best time chatting with you. Thank you for being on the show with me.
So much fun. I've loved it. And like I said, if y'all have any questions about your garden, just send me a DM on Instagram. I'll be glad to help in any way.
Carmen's the best. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode, Home CEOs. We hope you enjoyed our chat as much as we did and found some nuggets of wisdom, or at least a good chuckle or a good cry. Remember to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss out on our next episode, which I promise brings more laughs, tips, tricks, and a sense of community with lots of enlightening moments. That's what we're here to do. This is the village you've been looking for. Until next time, keep smiling and stay curious. Shine your light wherever you go on those that are dim. They need it the most. Do something kind for somebody else and put a smile on their face. And move your body for someone who can't. In gratitude, you can. You are worthy. You are abundant. You deserve it. And you keep rocking your home like a biz. Cheers to more success, less stress, and less mess. I'll see you next time on The Home CEO.